Hello my YouTube friends, today I'm going to talk about live streaming audio. Probably the most important piece of live streaming is definitely your audio. And I have all these popular microphones at all different price points to compare for you today. So let's not waste any time, let's get to it. My analytics say that 80% of the folks watching my content are not subscribed. Am I doing something wrong? If so, let me know in the comments. But if you are looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, then subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss any new content. It's totally free. All the equipment I talk about today is going to have a link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Now let's see what microphones we're gonna be testing today. This is the Manotech AU HD 300T. This is the budget contender of the group, checking in at just $68 with a lot of built-in features. It's a polar cardioid dynamic mic. That's fancy talk for it picks up audio from the front and suppresses it around the sides and the back. It has USB and XLR outputs and even has a mic jack to listen in if you're using the USB outputs. It does come with this really cool stand, and let me show you what else this has. I'm gonna pull this out. It also has an on-off switch and a volume rocker that you can adjust the volume of this microphone on the fly. For 70 bucks, this is pretty sturdy. And like I said, it even comes with this desk stand and a pop filter. This is the Audio-Technica AT2020, and it checks in at $99. It's a cardioid condenser XLR microphone, but there is a USB version that's available, and it sounds pretty much exactly the same as this for a little bit more money. Now this one is a side address microphone, which means you talk into the side of the mic and it suppresses sound from the front and the back. It also comes with this mic stand adapter mount that screws in, and then you can just mount this on top of your mic stand. This feels like a much more expensive microphone. In fact, I would say this is a high-end microphone offered with no frills at a budget price. This right here is the MXL BCD1. This one comes in at 150 bucks. It's a cardioid dynamic broadcast XLR that's an end address pickup. And that means it's most sensitive on the top and kind of suppresses sound from the sides and the back. It comes with this swivel mount and a carrying case. It's very similar to the AT2020, but perhaps it's just a touch lighter. It's another high quality microphone at a budget price. This is the Samsung Q9U. It runs in at $199, and compared to all the other ones, this one is a beast of a microphone. It looks similar to the Shure SM7B without the huge price tag. It's a cardioid style end address XLR and USB-C microphone. This has some really cool features. It has a low cut filter and a mid pretense boost. Now what that means is the switch is going to give your voice a more rounded sound. And it also has a mute button right up here and a headphone jack so you can monitor the output. It comes with the side mount swivel for mic stand mounting, and USB-C to USB-C and USB-C to USB-A cables are included. This right here is the Rode Procaster. It's a dynamic cardioid end address XLR microphone. It runs $249. This is the standard for mid to high end studio audio, and it comes with the microphone, and that's about it. And that's because most people who buy something like this are adding it to an existing setup. This is a really heavy, high quality microphone. I mean, you could literally kill someone with this thing. This last one is a bit different. It's the microphone I use for all my videos. And you can kind of see it in the shot. It's the Sennheiser MKE600. It looks really similar to this one here. It checks in at 329 bucks. It's a shotgun microphone with a battery powered XLR. And that means it will pick up audio from the front right here from much longer distances and suppress audio from the sides and the rear. It has a low pass filter to reduce wind noise in the field, and it's also a really sturdy microphone. Now, what this microphone has that none of the other microphones have is an actual phantom power built in with a battery, which means you do have to power it on and off. But I'm gonna show you why that can be an advantage as well. Every single one of these microphones here, unlike the Sennheiser, require phantom power to use the XLR output. And what that means is they have to be kind of powered through a unit so that it boosts the signal. This right here is a phantom power unit that I picked up or came with one of the microphones that I had from before. You can actually get something like this for around $15, and I can't really vouch for the quality of what this is. You can obviously buy much more expensive phantom power unit. Now, some of these microphones do have USB outputs, and you don't need something like this to power them with that, but that has its drawbacks as well, and we'll talk about that a little later. This is another option right here. It's the MXL Mic Mate Pro. You plug your microphone from XLR into here, and then it has an output on this side that will go from USB to your computer with USB. It also has a headphone jack in the back so that you can monitor the output of what you're getting. And it does have an adjustment so you can adjust the volume on the headphones. And it also has an audio gain adjuster as well so that you can turn up or down the microphone as it feeds into your computer. So this is a really cheap and easy way to add phantom power to your XLR microphone and convert it into USB. You can pick up something like this and use it on all your XLR microphones for around $100, and this is definitely a good solution if you want your XLR microphones to go to USB or you don't have phantom power for your XLR microphones for whatever reason. For this test, I'm gonna record each microphone through their XLR using a phantom power unit. In fact, the same phantom power unit. The only one that is not going to use the phantom power is the Sennheiser, because that actually has an internal battery that powers it on its own. And now I'm gonna play for you each microphone intro as it was recorded with no processing. Just the raw clip. And then I'm gonna play the same clip normalized. If you aren't familiar with normalizing audio, it's just a process for leveling out audio volume so there's no highs and no lows, and everything is a consistent volume that you set. No other audio process will be used on the file. I'm doing this so we can compare them all at the same volume level. So let's dive in and start with the Mayano AU HD 300T first. This is the Mayano AU HD 300T, and this is the test using the XLR through the phantom power and into my DSLR. Now, one of the things about these cardioid mics that I noticed, and one of the reasons why I use the Sennheiser, which you'll see later, is that you really have to be close to the microphone in order for it to really give you the volume that you want. And the problem with that is, as you can see, I can't get it out of the shot. And that, to me, is a little bit of a problem. But for a live stream, that might not be a big issue for you. It's all a matter of your own personal taste. But this one seems like it has a lower volume if I'm sitting where I'm comfortable. If I move in really close, it obviously has higher levels. So let's take a look at some of these other microphones and see where they fall in the same scale. This right here is the Audio-Technica AT2020. And I definitely have this one back a lot further than the Mayano mic that I had in first. So this picks up a lot more range, and I was able to get this one out of the shot. I really do like that, but I'm interested to hear how it sounds. This right here is the MXL BCD1, and you're gonna notice also that I managed to get this one out of the shot, although the levels are a little bit lower, and more than likely, I would have to move it like this. Now I moved it in a little bit. You can see it's kind of in the shot, and the audio levels are a little better, but they're still less than the Audio-Technica. But at the end of the day, it's more about what it sounds like as well, although I personally don't like to have microphones in the shot. So what I could do is maybe face this down a little farther, kind of like that. This does get it out of the shot and doesn't affect the levels too much, but in this case, I'm speaking over the microphone instead of directly into it, so it could affect the audio. We'll hear that on the other side. This is the brand new Samsung Q9U, and I took the pop filter off it, but you can see this thing's really difficult to get out of the shot, and I really honestly do have to have it this close to me to get the levels where I want them. If I move it back just this much, maybe tilt it down, I might be able to get it almost out of the shot, but I'm not getting anywhere near the levels that I really want from this microphone. Now that doesn't mean it isn't going to sound amazing. We're going to find that out in a moment when we listen to it, but it does mean that you're going to have this microphone in your shot if you're doing studio work. So it's something to keep in mind. I'm going to try it here. We're going to put on the mid boost filter, which should boost the mid range of my voice, which is probably already high and squeaky. So we'll see. This is the Samsung Q9U boosting the mids. And I'm interested to see how much of a difference this really makes. Now this also has a low pass filter in it that will filter out wind and that sort of stuff, but I can't imagine how you would ever use this big honking thing outdoors in the great out. I mean, this is just a large microphone. So it's definitely made for studio use only. I can't imagine why you'd need a low pass on this microphone in a studio unless you're on location and there's wind blowing. With that being said, I'm really interested to see what it sounds like with the mid-pass boost on there. This microphone here is the Rode Procaster, and you're gonna notice that it's all up in my piece, and that's because this one kinda is made for podcasting and really clear voices, and it sounds probably amazing. We haven't listened to it yet, so we have to hear what it sounds like compared to the rest of them, but this is also another one that's going to be really difficult to get out of the shot. Now, I do like my levels here, but let's see what it would take to get this out of the shot. And just keep in mind, this thing is massive. That right there is about as far away as I can get it, and I'm really speaking loudly to get the range anywhere near where I want it. And a lot of people don't like people yelling at them. So if you don't want your microphone in the shot, this one may not be the right one for you. With that being said, once we listen to it, you may notice a massive difference in how clear this sounds when it is all up in your face. This is the Sennheiser MKE600. And this microphone is way far away compared to all the other microphones. I can easily get it out of the shot and put it pretty much anywhere I want. I could put it over there, I could put it over there, I could put it down low. As long as the actual end of the microphone is pointed at my face, it's going to pick up my audio, and usually at a level that's really good. Now the question is, how does it sound? So just for an example, the levels on this are just about what they are for the AT2020. Now the other thing you might notice about the Sennheiser is that we're going to get a lot more of the natural room audio. So it doesn't block out all of the background noise and things like that. It sounds more natural. Whereas the AT2020 and some of these other microphones are studio microphones that are meant to close it off and only have your sound. It could be a matter of personal taste. We're definitely going to hear it in the end, but for me, I do like the idea of getting the microphone out of the shot and never having to worry about the audio levels. Having a little bit of ambient background is annoying because the highway is right over there, but sometimes you have to deal with some things in order to have conveniences in other places. And that's something you should definitely keep in mind as I go through and play all of these back so you can hear what they sound like. Every single microphone at every single price range is going to have its trade-offs based on what they're able to achieve at the price point that they're going for. And what you're going to have to do is decide which ones have the best sound quality for the value for your ears. And at the end of the day, if you're going to get great quality sound out of whichever one of these mics you choose, isn't that the most important thing? Now, I'm interested in which one of these sounds the best to you, or maybe which is the best value of the bunch to you. Let me know in the comments. And if you could take a second and click that thumbs up button right down there if you're enjoying this video. It really does help supercharge a video to reach more people. And because you're so kind, you're going to be rewarded with this super cute puppy picture. Aww. Cool, huh? Now I'm guessing at this point that you can see that each and every one of these microphones has its trade-offs. Audio quality, sensitivity, size, features, setup, and of course price are all factors, and everyone is going to order these factors differently depending upon their setup and their circumstances. My two biggest priorities are sound quality and sensitivity. I don't want my microphones in the shot. And for me, that means either the Audio-Technica AT2020 or the Sennheiser MKE600 that I already use. For folks who don't want an XLR mic, there are two options here that have USB outputs built in. The Mayano AU HD 300T and the Samsung Q9U. These two microphones are at totally opposite ends of the price spectrum, and in this case, I think you definitely get what you pay for. The Samsung Q9U is an amazing sounding microphone, and the mid boost makes a big difference in rounding out that sound. The Mayano provides great audio quality that may take a bit more time to get it right in post. But with all the extra features and the $70 price point, it's a really awesome value. And of course, any of these microphones can be turned into a USB mic using the MXL MicMate Pro, and it's not a bad price either. I personally avoid using USB microphones for live streaming because you're at the whim of your computer's processing power. And what I mean by that is your microphone camera and your mic are now coming into the computer from separate USB ports. USB ports all have speed limits, and the computer has a limit as to how fast it can encode as well. So a USB microphone adds in the possibility that the audio is going to go out of sync, and I never have to worry about that with an XLR that plugs directly into my camera. The video and audio are transferred to the computer already synced up by the camera through the USB port, removing a huge point of failure from the equation. To my ears, there's no question the Rode Procaster is the best sounding microphone of the bunch, and if I could get it out of the camera shot, I would definitely have one. And that leaves the MXL BCD1 kind of in no man's land. It's on par with the Audio-Technica AT2020 sound-wise, but you really need to have that thing close to your face to get the best out of it. And other people's ears may feel differently. That's just my observation. If you struggle with audio issues in your live streams, you should probably check this video out. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks that can help make you a better YouTuber or live streamer, subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. My name is Michael Fire Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.